What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sports and Spirits. I'm Steve.
I'm Josh.
And we're here to talk a little bit about sports and, well, spirits. That's just what we do.
Yeah.
It's our niche, okay? If you don't like it, there's 1,000 other places that are talking about sports, but we're bringing something special. And this week, our something special is going to be our friends from Woodford Reserve
Okay.
have dropped a sweet oak bourbon. One of the first times they've come out with a master's collection that is 110.4. Normally, they're at their signature 90.4.
Yeah.
On everything they do except for their batch strength.
Sure.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That come in these
That's
same
higher
bottles.
than I've seen in the past. Yeah.
But this one's one of their highest at 110.4. We'll get into that more later in the episode. But before we get any further, take a quick second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to also follow us on all the other social medias out there like Instagram. We got a Facebook page. We got an X page. We've got a TikTok page.
Yeah.
We got everything. And you're going to see different things popping up on all of those different channels. So if you want a little of the inside scoop, follow us everywhere.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, let's hit it. What are we starting with?
Yeah. I guess before we even talk about it in the NFL, this past weekend, I think it was probably the best slate of games we've had this year.
Hot dang.
So make sure you buckle in. This is going to be a good one. But yeah, I guess we'll just start right off on Thursday night. You know, that's the last time we seen you guys, and we talked about the return of Lamar Jackson.
Ooh, yeah. How was
know,
it? I didn't get to see the game. So.
You didn't? Okay, yeah. So basically, it was a lot closer game in terms of compared to what the score says.
Okay.
You know, Miami had a few miscues in certain situations that resulted in the game being closer than it actually was on the scoreboard.
Gotcha.
They had like a couple fumbles. They had a 4th and 1 where they had a false start that moved them back, and then they missed a field goal.
Yep.
You know, so like there were some points left on the board in Miami's side, and Lamar wasn't really asked to do a whole lot, but he still looked really efficient, throwing for 4 touchdowns in his return. And I think that's the thing that's scary for anybody in the NFL or in the league in general, that he can look not that great and still play really well.
Yeah.
You know, so it's going to be interesting. We're going to get to see it firsthand this next coming week anyway, with the Ravens taking on the Vikes.
Yep.
But either way, it's definitely interesting to note on that one.
Yeah, that score 28-6 would tell me it was a lot more one-sided than
right. Obviously scoring 4 touchdowns compared to the other team,
Right.
you know, it's obviously going to look more drastic, but, you know, just miscues by the Dolphins could be the reason why, we could see some changes in Miami here soon.
Dang. Remember, pretty much every forecast or prediction we make on changes
Yes.
for team leadership, they've come true. So
They've happened, so be
watch
ready.
out.
Yeah. I guess let's just talk about the Vikes. Let's move
talk
on to
about our boys.
Yeah, the Sunday nude slate. We had the return of J.J. McCarthy. We talked about it this past weekend, and he honestly shocked the world. People gave him no credit. There was okay, this guy's not the guy.
Right.
He, came into this game and we didn't know what we were going to see out of him. To be honest, we haven't seen him since week 2 against Atlanta.
Yep.
And honestly, they shocked the Lions on the road. You know, I think the Lions were I know they were heavily favored in this game. I believe it was almost 10 points.
Crazy.
But the QB showed he's got the gusto.
Yep.
I mean, that's the only way to describe it, and
Here's the thing to remember, though. We've only seen him in 3 games.
yeah, that's the part that we've tried to talk about.
Right. We've only seen him in 3 games. One of the 2 games was a big dud. So now to be able to see him like this, now you have 2 games where he was, the first part of his first game, he was meh.
Right.
But then he rallied everybody in that 4th quarter and brought it back.
Right.
And now we saw maybe what could be a more stable, realistic look at what
expectation.
Yeah.
I think that what we saw in this Lions game is an expectation of what we should see from him going forward.
Right.
Because on paper, the Lions have a weak secondary, but overall on their defense, they're pretty solid.
Yeah.
They got a lot of good edge rushers. He controlled the offense. He controlled the game flow. So I think it's some positive things for fans, of the Vikes. It'd be okay, maybe we do still have the guy in the stable, and it'll be interesting.
Piece too is our offensive line isn't anything to write home about. So
with the injuries they've had this year, 100%.
Exactly. And so it's to see that performance out of him with that caveat.
True.
Also speaks volumes to what we could see in the future when we get our entire O-line back to
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you there on that one. We'll see. It's going to be, we'll have a tough test this next week, but either way, it's positive things so far this past Sunday. And then the game we talked about that we thought would be the lowest scoring turned out to be, the two best defenses in football.
Do we call these things or what?
Yeah, we try, man. We try. I mean, it's obviously we can't predict the outcomes, but the Broncos did outlast the Texans in what turned out to be a defensive battle, 18-15.
Defense on Texans side seemed a little bit lost.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Or the offense, yeah.
The offense, yeah. So unfortunately with CJ Stroud, he did go down in this game with a concussion. Anytime you lose your starting quarterback, it's going to be tough. And Davis Mills is maybe not the best guy in this league in terms of winning football, but
what's the new concussion protocol? Like, how long do you think he'll be out for something like that?
Yeah, so with concussions, obviously it's a case by case basis, right? There's severities to concussions. Some are more drastic than others.
Yep.
Some of them guys are actually put in concussion protocol if they're just not necessarily diagnosed as an actual concussion, more of just a precautionary thing. They're put in protocol for just head trauma and injury.
Because I know in the last 10, 15 years, like head injuries and the brain have been a huge focus for the NFL.
As it should be. I mean, even in my college career, I had a couple, so I'm very well aware of what goes into it. And there's different severities, but in terms of the recovery point, it usually is 1 to 2 weeks in terms of until you start to feel normal. And so there's a ramp up period.
Sure.
So with that is you go from doing football activities, non-contact, to then you progressively get to a point where you can do contact football activities. And once that happens for you and your protocol, then you're then potentially cleared to play. And so it just varies on a person-to-person basis. And
obviously at this level, you got your medical team out there watching every piece of that practice as you're coming back into it.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, and obviously we're talking about the highest level. So hopefully the expectation is that the doctors and everything involved with that is also at that.
The highest level, right.
That would be at least my thought process in that. But it's one of those things you can't underestimate in the care it takes for the player. We as people sometimes are he'll be back next week, just guarantee it. You can't predict it. You can't. You just really can't. Everybody's body's different. Yep. So, but yeah,
crazy good.
And then the game we talked about that maybe going into the season we probably wouldn't even have discussed it in our any kind of podcast format or here, but the Steelers taking on the Colts.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Daniel Jones looked like the old Daniel Jones.
Well, let's go.
That's not good. That's not good because the old Daniel Jones was no good.
That's fine because if we ever have to go up against him, I want him to be the old Daniel Jones.
Fair enough. But yeah, turning the ball over in that game, I believe he had 3 interceptions and 2 fumbles, so 5 turnovers. That doesn't usually bode well for success in the NFL. I think they actually totaled 6 turnovers on the day for the Pittsburgh defense, which is a positive thing because that defense had looked really, really bad this year. And so to see them, kind of regain a little bit of their form that they've had in the past is really good for them. And, they took home a big win for them, 27-20 against a very good Colts team. So that's a big win for them for their season.
Close scoring games here this weekend.
Yeah.
Which is what makes football exciting.
Yes. And that's why I think it was one of the best slates of the week. And then the one that nobody saw coming.
Here we go.
This is the one I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the spread was about 13.5. Going into it, but the Carolina Panthers beat the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau, nonetheless.
Dang.
In a game that they were favored to lose by over 2 touchdowns. Rico Dowdle had himself a monster game.
Rico.
Yeah, it just shows you.
You weren't supposed to have that game.
No, he was not.
You were not supposed to have that game.
That was not expected.
That's the crazy thing about sports. It's you never know when someone's going to go off.
You have no idea.
You can't really predict it. You can do the best you can with the information and stats that you have, but it's still just throwing a dart at a dartboard.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. I mean, I guess it shows you that old school. So if anybody that was watching the game, the conditions were really, really bad, really windy. It was really tough to throw the ball. So it shows you that you can run the ball and play great defense and win games in the NFL. And that's what Carolina did on the day. They controlled the clock. They ended up setting themselves up for a game-winning field goal only because they missed an extra point because Rico Dowdle had a 15-yard personal foul for doing a dry hump in the end zone, basically from Key Peel.
These kids.
And so instead of like a 33-yard extra point, he had to try to kick a 48-yard extra point, and he missed it. So he almost cost them the game, but they did still win. They did still win. But either way, it was a good thing to see Carolina get the dub. The only bad thing out of this game, we found out this morning, Tucker Kraft is confirmed to have torn his ACL. Ooh. So his season is over for them. So the star tight end who had a breakout start to this year, unfortunately, is done for the season.
What a bummer.
That really hurts their chances, but we'll talk about that in regards to what you should do about that going forward.
Here's some this is just random news.
Sure, yeah.
In the middle of all of this randomness, the ACL thing is what kind of tipped my brain off to it.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, we had a incredible running back.
Yes.
He used to run with us.
Yes.
And he had an ACL injury.
Correct.
And he was probably one of the quickest turnarounds to get back into the season. Like most other players we talk about, ACL injury is a season ender. Now, we're later in the season.
Yep.
That happened almost in the beginning of the season, I believe, if not in preseason. But I can't remember.
Okay.
So he had time to get back up and running, and he was back up and running within like 6 to 8 weeks, I want to say.
Okay.
But none of that part matters.
Okay.
Our boy is having some issues with the law. Adrian Peterson,
Yes,
baby.
he is. Yes.
This guy can't figure out how to not drink and then drive.
Correct.
So we want to take this quick second to talk about responsible drinking. Yes, we are sports and spirits.
Correct.
But we believe in drinking responsibly. It's not something we condone that you get in the vehicle after you've had too many. Yes. And a lot of us don't know when we've had too many. So find that person that can tell you when you've had too many, because we don't want anyone dying from drinking alcohol. Amen. That's it. Public service announcement over.
There
Thanks.
you go. Yeah, fair enough. It had to be addressed. You are right. He has had some serious issues lately.
This is the second one this year. Second D-dub this year.
Correct. And the other one was actually, I was at the Vikings draft party.
For real?
Yeah, so because I went to the Vikings draft party.
Yeah.
You know, basically what they did is they host an event at US Bank Stadium.
Yep.
And, you know, everybody can come down and watch, and they have a bunch of like former players or active players come
sure.
in and talk. Well, and AP was one of them.
Oh, no way.
And then the DWO was that night.
For real?
Yeah, it was that night. We're like, we just saw this guy like 4 hours ago.
This guy. And you can afford an Uber. You can afford a freaking limo.
Yeah, I know. like you could call it a luxury.
Exactly.
Like seriously.
If you want an Escalade to pull up and take you home, you can do it.
And then what are you doing going out there with where you are the driver and then getting hammered when you know you have people you could call that could take care of that for you? It's just, I don't understand.
Just being responsible.
Right. That's all we're suggesting.
Yep. But back to football.
Yeah, back to football.
Well, I guess we were still in football, but back to actual now football.
Yeah. And then the New England Patriots, they continue their winning streak.
Let's go.
Yeah, they hold off a very hungry Atlanta Falcons team at home.
Yep.
It ends up being a 24-23 victory on a missed extra point late for the Falcons, which is unfortunate, you know, Luke. But that's why we talked about them expanding that extra point back to make it a play that actually has an impact.
Exactly.
Versus just like a guaranteed point.
Yep. We talked about it early in the season. This is now something you don't just walk to the kitchen to grab your next beer. Like, this thing could actually make or break a game, and we saw it right here.
Yeah, a couple of times.
Yep.
In the Carolina game as well.
Yep.
You know, and then same thing here in some of these other games. It just, those have such a big impact on the result because that single point you don't think in the moment, you're like, oh, that's 1 point. Well, okay, well now that 6 point that could have been 7, you know, comes back to bite you in the butt later when you have to kick 2 field goals and you don't win, you tie.
Exactly.
You know, so it's tough. And then what we said would be the game of the week.
Get ready.
The highest scoring game of the week. The Chicago Bears take on the Cincinnati Bengals.
The Bears.
And it did not disappoint.
No.
There was almost 1,000 yards of total offense in this
Holy
one. 1,000 yards of total offense. It was one of the craziest back and forth games of the year, for sure, resulting in 2 lead changes in the last 58 seconds. There was 8 lead changes within the entirety of the game.
Yep.
And, you know, Chicago winning 47-42. The Cincinnati Bengals, this is how bad their defense has been, okay? They are now just the second team in NFL history to score 40 points in back-to-back games and lose both. to lose both games, scoring 40 points in back-to-back.
So is it time to start questioning our defensive coordinator?
At some point, you got to question everybody involved in decisions. Like, just like, ouch. This is the last time this has happened was in 1966.
For real?
That was the last time this happened. So that's a long time for somebody to, score 40.
This is not something you want to bring back from the past.
No,
either.
this is not a record you want. No, this is not you do not want this fresh record. No.
Well, now you've got it.
Yeah, it's yours now.
People in 2050 will be talking about the last time this happened was in 2025.
That is correct. That is how that'll be. It'll be a trivia question down the road.
Right.
But yeah, they go into the bye, and man, do they got to regroup, because obviously they're scoring points. But if you can't stop anybody, you can't win either. So people have been asking the question, is it Joe Flacco? Obviously, it's not Joe Flacco.
No.
And so even with Joe Burrow, you'd probably be seeing a lot of similar results, if I'm being honest. It has nothing to do with who's playing quarterback.
Yep.
If you can't stop anybody on defense, that's nothing on the QB.
Right.
So people are like, I don't think their season would be any different if Joe Burrow was playing, other than maybe a win or two more.
Right.
But I mean, you can't say that they're a legit playoff team with how bad that defense is playing.
Exactly.
You just can't win.
I mean, they're making the points, but you can't win if you can't stop the other points.
Exactly. 100%. And then lastly, I guess this was more that what was slated as America's game of the week. Anytime the Buffalo Bills take on the Kansas City Chiefs, this one was in Buffalo.
Which we said last week is always a dicey one.
It's always a dicey one, and it turned out to be. Whenever Mahomes takes on Allen, you got two of the best quarterbacks in the league. Yep. They have they have a past history now that's very extensive.
Right.
They've played each other a lot in regular season and in postseason. The interesting stat on this one is after this game, Buffalo did get the win, 28-21. Josh Allen improves to 5-0. 5-0 against Mahomes in the regular season. 1-4 in the postseason.
But
so which record would you rather have?
I'd rather have the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so 5-0 in the regular season is great.
Exactly. That's
but
cool.
1-4 in the postseason, that means you're getting eliminated 4 times. That's not good. So yeah, and it was honestly just the run game. Buffalo controlled the clock, and they just picked up a big win. A couple,
that
short
is a
yards.
Huge win.
Yeah, it's a big win. I mean, because when it comes down to the end of the season, the first thing they look at is your head-to-head against division winners, and Mahomes and the Chiefs are probably going to be a team that's in that contention. So being Buffalo, that's a big one. So now Buffalo holds victories over Baltimore and Kansas City. That's going to be
huge.
Yeah, that's pretty important. So we'll see how that impacts the postseason seedings as the season progresses, but definitely one to note.
No diggity.
Yeah. This one, I didn't know if I was going to actually talk about it today, but it was such a crazy game. I can't not. The Raiders hosted the Jacksonville Jaguars in what turned out to be a great game. Cam Little hits the longest field goal.
Let's talk about this.
In NFL history of 68 yards.
That thing was a bomb.
It was a bomb. I mean,
it just stayed.
Yeah. And he's setting up on his own 40 to kick. It's like, it's such a crazy concept.
That's nuts.
We actually saw as well in the Dallas Cowboy game last night, Brandon Aubrey had an attempt at a 68-yarder as well. Unfortunately, his did not make it. Yeah. But Cam
that shows
Little,
you that not all of them can be made.
Oh yeah, I mean it's not an easy kick. Let's be honest.
That's a long freaking. I mean, take a second. If you haven't, just stand in a football field
where he kicks from.
Yes.
And envision trying to kick from there and put it in the uprights.
Right.
It seems almost impossible.
It's one thing, like you can even, like throwing that far is difficult, but kicking a football is not easy.
No.
Like the amount of mental preparation and practice, like it's a strange shaped ball already.
Sure.
And then to kick it.
Yeah.
That distance straight. It's nuts. So 68 yards is mind-blowing.
Yeah, I would attest you guys to go do that if you have an opportunity to stand on a football field and try to throw the ball through the uprights from where he kicked from.
Yep.
I guarantee 8 out of 10 of you can't do it.
No.
And so like to think that he's using his leg in a football that's not moving.
It's so crazy.
On the ground, not moving.
Yep.
And it makes it's unfathomable, but we saw it happen.
And that's why we watch.
Yeah, that's why we watch. We got to talk about Brock Bowers. He's finally healthy, coming out of the bye.
3 TDs,
3 touchdowns on 12 catches and 127 yards.
Let's go.
Unfortunately for the Raiders, his 3rd touchdown that was in overtime, they decided to go for 2 to win the game, and they did not get it. So they lost 30-29. So even though Brock Bowers had a special performance, they did get the loss.
He couldn't get it done at the end.
So it is what it is. I mean, that's football. You play it through the end. But, interesting thing to note that Brock Bowers is back for all you fantasy owners out there. So big game for him.
Is he a top 5?
Yeah, he's top 5. I mean, I'd argue he's top 15 player overall rest of season.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I mean, he's when we talked about it earlier in the season, the most important thing when it comes to fantasy football is the onesies.
Sure.
And we'll address it maybe later as we get into the fantasy segment, but he's bar none a special player at his position. So, yeah. And then let's talk about the Rams.
Let's talk about them.
The game, not super noteworthy. Let's be honest. They absolutely dominated the Saints 34-10 behind 4 passing touchdowns from Matthew Stafford.
I just can't get over Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, he's played really good when he got traded to the Rams.
Yeah.
He's played phenomenal football, winning a Super Bowl. And
Nuts.
This year he's been really good. He's leading the NFL with 21 passing touchdowns right now, which is, pretty impressive.
It's just like when he played for the Lions, it was like, okay, he's good.
Yeah.
You knew he was good.
But then he mixed in a bunch of mistakes.
Exactly.
And he's eliminated a lot of those playing for the Rams. And I think it speaks volumes on him, but also McVay's coaching staff and the scheme of the offense. That West Coast style offense is really bodes well for his success,
Exactly.
And doesn't hurt that he's got some great players to throw to.
Right. That always helps. And he's got a great arm.
And that right now is why I'm saying the Rams are my favorite in the NFC.
Hot dang.
I think
hot take here.
Yeah, I think given the opportunity, if they can pull off some big wins in their interdivision games, I think playing at home, Rams are the team to beat. So
watch out.
But yeah.
Wow, Ram you.
Yeah. And then Sunday night, got to address the elephant in the room. We had the Washington Commanders take on the Seattle Seahawks. It was obviously a big playoff potential affecting matchup, but Sam Darnold said, let's just shut the door on that.
That guy went nuclear.
Yeah. In the first half, he was 16 of 16 for 282 yards and 4 touchdown passes.
16 for 16.
Yes. He was perfect. He was perfect in the first half.
That's insanity.
Yeah. They were up 31-7 at halftime.
Why couldn't you guys at the Vikings get that out of him? Huh?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, he looked really good. His connections with his receivers, even with guys down injured.
The Sea Chickens can do it.
The Sea Chickens can do it, yes.
Oh, my gosh.
But we got to address the fact that Jaden Daniels, if you were watching the game, at the point of that game, it was 38-7. He was scrambling out of the pocket. He got tackled at about the 4-yard line and came down really awkwardly on his left arm, and it was pretty gruesome. You'll have to watch it yourself if you want to see it, but yeah, we don't know the full extent yet. They haven't fully given us the details, but it's definitely a dislocated elbow at the very least, and probably some arm and ligament damages and everything involved in that. It was pretty nasty.
We are just beating a dead horse here, but this injury,
yes,
it's just crazy.
In that game, their number 1 corner tore his ACL.
Yep.
For the Commanders.
Right.
And their number 2 wide receiver in the game, Luke McCaffrey, broke his collarbone on the kickoff return. And then your quarterback got hurt in the 4th quarter. So they lost a receiver, a corner, and a QB to season-ending injuries potentially all in the same game.
So what does this mean for Washington's rebuild?
Well, it's going to have to start. it ain't going nowhere this year.
Oh, my gosh. You just lost it.
I know. You went from 12-5 and in the NFC Championship to now you're the worst team in your division potentially. It's kind of crazy how the NFL works that way. But, it doesn't help that McLaurin hasn't played this year. He's missed 5 games with his quad injury. I mean, and you paid him, 20-something million, 28 million to come back and be your star. It's like, I don't know. It's a tough game, but
jeez.
Yeah. So we'll kind of move on to our
America's
Monday night.
team.
Yeah. America's team.
Yeah.
This was, I don't even know how to describe this game when you're watching it. The Dallas Cowboys looked uncharacteristically not themselves.
Turnover issues.
It was bad. It was just really bad to watch. Honestly, the Cardinals just look like the better team, and on paper, they're definitely not.
I don't think I was going to have to ask this question, but
yes,
is this rock bottom for Dallas?
I think it's got to be, right? You know, I mean, you're talking about a team who has lofty expectations, right? Yeah. They do every year because they're probably the most talked about in the public. The concern going into this year was honestly that their defense was not good,
right?
And they've proven to us time and time again that they're not. And they can't just solve the problem by plugging in one guy there. I know got a report this morning that Logan Wilson from the Cincinnati Bengals was traded there, middle linebacker. I mean, that's going to help stuff the run a little, but they still can't cover anybody.
Yeah, and what about the turnover issues?
I mean, it's
like both sides of the ball are just not performing at all.
Right. And I mean, there's some of it, I got to throw some blame, on the coach. There was some bad coaching in that game. I mean, in the first quarter, they had the ball at the 4 on 4th and goal. And instead of kicking the field goal and taking the points, they went for it, didn't get it. They had another 4th and down and distance later in the game in the 4th quarter. They didn't take the field goal, didn't get it. They lost by 10.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? You take those field goals, you got a whole different ball game. The whole feel of the ball game's different, So like there's that fine line between being aggressive and being smart in terms of winning football games, and
it's like that gutsy or stupid thing.
Yeah, and with their offense, I mean, I'm taking as many points as I can get. Like just take the points. Like I know obviously you're slightly biased if you're an Aubrey guy for fantasy, but when it comes to just points in general, you got to get them on the board, and because they're
last time I checked, that's how you win a game.
That's how you win, and you can always deal with the issue of not scoring that touchdown later on as long as you got those 3. You got something. Now you take a 0 on that, and it's like, okay, well, that whole drive was wasted.
Right.
You go all the way down the field and you get nothing out of it. So, but we'll see. They're going into a bye, so they got some time to regroup. They're gonna have to because they're gonna have to win a lot of games coming out of their bye.
No doubt.
So yeah.
There you have it.
Yeah, that's our coverage for
that. That is the NFL.
Yeah, it was a lengthy coverage on that one. So.
But it was a lot to cover.
Yes.
Like you said, this was one of the hottest weekends this season for the NFL.
The closest matchups across the board, I'd say. Just
the most exciting games to watch because blowouts, for me, not really that exciting.
I turn them off.
Yeah, it's like, but when you get something where it's like back and forth, you're not sure. It's like, those are the types of drama games that you're like, I'm sticking around to see how this thing goes.
We didn't even cover all of them. A couple of them that were even closer that we didn't even talk about that were supposed to be like these blowouts, and they weren't.
Yep.
So it's just...
So we're seeing some different things happening here in the NFL. This could be a sign for the future of the rest of the season, or it was just a fun one-off weekend.
Yeah.
Either way,
we'll see.
Yeah. We're going to get into some spirits.
Yeah, let's do it.
Our friends from Woodford Reserve have done it again. Now, this is a controversial batch.
Really?
Yeah. Some people like annihilating it in reviews, and other people loving it.
Okay.
So we'll be the judge of all that.
Sure.
Because here at Sports and Spirits, we're the final say.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
We're not.
No, we're not, but we'll give our opinions and you can kind of digest from that.
That's right.
So
like I said in the beginning of the show, this is their first soiree into putting out 110 proof. Now, this is called the Sweet Oak Bourbon.
Definitely get the sweetness on the nose.
Yep. So the thing they did with this one, like they've been doing for the last few, previous, they've done the Sonoma triple finish.
Yep.
Where they finished it in Sonoma wine barrels. And then there was the Madeira cask finish. Mm-hmm. This one is aged in Chinkapin oak.
Okay.
So that is going to give you a much sweeter profile than regular white oak will, American white oak. And so, yeah. Here's the problem with it, okay? This is kind of a problem with Woodford across the board.
Right.
And why I think everybody has beef with this bottle. And it smells great.
Yeah.
Super sweet. Super awesome.
Yeah. Got your vanilla and all right.
But that smell's not worth $150.
I agree. And we had that issue with the previous release.
Yep.
And said it's
like it's good.
The juice itself is good, but is it twice as good as like the Woodford Double Oak?
No.
And in terms of your value. And so I don't know what their goal with this is. You know what I mean?
The other thing, their cousins in the industry. So Brown-Forman owns Woodford Reserve. Brown-Forman also owns Old Forester and Jack Daniels.
I do know that, yes.
They might not, though. Like that guy right over there.
Fair enough. Yes.
So you've got people like Jack Daniels dropping bangers.
Sure.
For half the price.
Right.
In their newest release of
The Heritage.
The Heritage. which is going to be a shelfer, I guess.
Eventually, yeah.
Eventually.
You should see that anywhere between $70 and $80.
Right. So half the price of this guy,
Yep.
and equally as good.
Yeah.
Maybe even better.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, they just dropped their Tenured Hill special release.
Okay.
Which is their basically Coy Hill version rye.
Got it.
So the Tenured Hill is a hazmat rye that just came out from them.
Okay. Is that going to be everywhere or not?
I don't know if it'll be everywhere. It'll be kind of like Coy Hill.
Okay.
Hard to get.
Sure.
So that dropped. Everybody's going nuts over that one. It's the craziest. Again, half
Is
the
it
price.
released to Minnesota?
I think it will be.
It will be.
I don't think it's gotten here yet.
No, it has not. I know that.
But that one there, everybody's jonesing about. And again, half the price. And so you're like, this is good.
Yeah, I mean, I would drink that.
But when things are better than this for half the price,
Yes.
who's making up the cost stuff on these things?
Yeah.
To where it's like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Your sister company is putting out bangers for less money.
Right.
Why are you putting this out? Is it just like a elite thing or?
Yeah. We'll talk about it, but let us know in your comments, what you guys think on that too, in terms of is their price of their juice equal to their quality if you've had a chance to come across it. But
and it's not all of Woodford.
No.
It's just these.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like
they're
Woodford Double Oak.
Yes.
Probably one of my favorite double oaks.
Yeah, for like $65.
Yep. Price is on point. Flavor exceeds the price.
Yeah. I
So
agree.
I will go after a double oak nonstop. Like that is a go-to shelf bourbon for me.
Yeah.
I'll do that all day long. Even their shelfer entry-level stuff for the price, $35, $40.
Yeah.
Beautiful bourbons for mixing, for even just sipping neat. They're great.
Yeah, you might
This is the only beef I have with them.
Yeah.
Like this bottle here that's come out
Yeah.
the last 3 years at that price
Yeah.
is the only beef I have with Woodford right now.
Yeah.
Like this is good.
Yeah. Yeah, because we drink the regular stuff, and you might even see us.
Love it.
You might even see us do some mixology stuff with it in the future.
Coming up very soon for the holidays.
but potentially for the holidays. Because just show you guys what you can do with like different styles of bourbon. But yeah, I do agree with you that their regular shelfer stuff you can gravitate towards it again and again and again,
good.
and it's really good. But I would that's a tough one for me. I don't know if I would buy that at $150.
I don't.
It's tough.
I'm not that. The only reason I have this bottle is for our other channel, Rare Barrel Whiskey. Check it out if you want.
Yeah.
We did a full review on this one. But it's like, if I were just a regular Joe, I probably wouldn't buy it. Now, I loved the Sonoma Triple Finish, and that was also, it didn't get quite as polarizing as this one is currently.
Okay.
It was good.
Yep.
Everybody liked it. Again, the only problem they had was price.
Yeah.
And that one
we're still sitting on the other one,
right
at our store.
Madeira, yeah. Same thing.
Yeah, it's just sitting there. So
tasty. I like the Sonoma better. The Madeira is really, really good and has a reminiscent vibe from the Sonoma Triple Finish. But then this guy here is just like Angel's Envy came out with their Triple Oak, which has Chinkopin oak in it.
We've tried that too.
Chinkopin and Hungarian. So, and that one's way less
on the shelf. Yeah, it's way cheaper.
So it's like,
and it's honestly I prefer it.
I think you're right.
I think I would
I'm
prefer
with
it
you.
too.
Yeah.
I think it's. I mean, I can see what they're trying to do here. They're trying to have a different profile on the nose and everything, but it's just not as complex of a full experience that you'd expect out of something.
The complexity.
You pay.
That's what it is. It's just flat.
Yeah. It's just lacking complexity.
Yeah.
Entirely. I mean, like
it doesn't mean that it's not good. It's just priced incorrectly for me, in my opinion.
Yeah. And even if you went to try to get a pour of that somewhere, I'm sure that pour is going to be $25-$30, and it's not a $25-$30 pour.
No.
And so
not when you have things like, even like Old Rip you could get for
around the same
$35.
Yeah.
Like you want to pay just a little bit more for
all day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every single time. So there you have it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put a spirit out there that maybe we didn't fully agree with, so you guys didn't think we were just like, yeah, we love every single spirit.
Just picking all the favorites. Yeah,
exactly.
That is true.
This is a expensive bottle.
Yep.
and probably not one that I would seek out if I were you, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm going to go with him on that one, too. I think I probably wouldn't be hunting this one either.
No.
So
there you have it.
Yeah.
Now it's time for a little bit of fantasy football.
Yeah, I think we're kind of getting to a point now where your teams have either established themselves as having an opportunity.
Mine has not.
To make the playoffs, maybe.
Mine is,
or maybe not.
Mine's the bottom feeder.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so you saw some guys make returns, so we got to note them. Obviously, with Lamar Jackson back and healthy, we got to lock in all your Ravens players. That's including Zay Flowers.
Yep.
Mark Andrews is his number one goal line guy, and then obviously Derrick Henry. Obviously, some of these are more self-explanatory than others, but with confidence for the foreseeable future, these guys will be very fantasy productive,
right?
Because they're going to score a lot of points in order to win these games, and they got to win almost pretty much all of them to have a legitimate chance of making the playoffs. Starting at 1-5. So
depending on your team,
yes,
Lamar could be a sell high type of player for your team, depending on what you need or how you want to look at the last half of the season and what you're dealing with and what you're up against. It could be a guy that's like, hey, you just saw a really good performance out of him. Yeah. This could be a guy you could sell high on, and maybe there's other holes you need to fill.
Sure. So for Lamar, if you fantasy owners out there, you had him for 3 weeks. He was phenomenal. Got hurt in week 4 against Kansas City. So you had a good probability. I can attest on myself. On all 3 leagues that I had Lamar Jackson, I was 3-0 in the first 3 weeks of the season. Yep. And then obviously you lose your best player, and it makes it really tough for fantasy. So if you were able to make it through that tough stretch without Lamar Jackson,
right,
you have to kind of just gauge where your team's at. Did you pick up a fantasy waiver wire quarterback like a Joe Flacco, like a Sam Darnold, that has proven that he's serviceable to a point where you can maybe flip a Lamar Jackson for like a skill position player to help bolster your team for like the playoff run?
Right.
I'd consider it. It's fantasy is really tough because it's fluid. It changes week to week. We literally see it every week where a guy goes down. It changes the whole perspective of everything.
Look at this week. We just listed off how many people went out on injury this week.
Yeah, and so you have to be able to adapt. Otherwise, you're kind of sitting behind.
And then on the opposite side, there were people we were thinking last week were just going to be kind of maybe or duds, and then they just go off. And it's like, where did you come from?
Correct.
Based on all your stats, this is not looking like the person you were supposed to be this week.
Like he's saying, no one saw this coming in this game, but Rico Dowdle absolutely dominated the backfield touches.
Yeah.
And it's his job. It's his job going forward. And in their massive upset victory, he probably locks himself in as a rest of season top 10 running back.
Yeah.
With that kind of workload and them committing to the run game, if he's going to get 20 to 25 touches in certain games, there's no doubt he has 100 yards rushing because that's how good he's been so far.
Yep.
In 3 games where he's been the prominent ball carrier, he's had over 130 rushing yards in all 3.
Yeah.
If that's the floor, obviously there's going to be games where he doesn't hit that floor number. Let's be real. We have to have some expectations tempered.
Right.
But he's going to score a touchdown or 2 on a given week basis if they get inside the 5-yard line. They're just going to give it to him.
9 times out of 10, he's going to be a guy that you're going to want to put in.
Yeah. And so, going into the week, we thought, we don't know, but I think Hubbard touched the ball 5 times.
Right.
Yeah, 5 times.
Yeah.
He's a guy making, $8-9 million and touched the ball 5 times.
Yeah.
So
wish I could do that.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, so we'll see. But the worst thing probably for fantasy owners out there is DeAndre Swift. The worst thing that he could have done this week was sit out to rest on his groin injury because he gave Kyle Monangai the opportunity to show what he's capable of. I believe he finished the day with like 178 rushing yards, like 35 receiving yards, so over 200 all-purpose yards from the backup.
So you didn't want to if you wanted to keep your position, you didn't want him on the field.
Correct.
He just proved some things.
He just proved that this might be more of a split.
Yeah.
And so, if anybody knows anything about Ben Johnson, obviously he was the former Detroit Lions offensive coordinator for the past couple of years. This is going to be David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs type split here, and I don't know if it favors Swift or Monangai. We have no idea. But either way, it's not ideal for Swift fantasy owners because he was dominating the touches. Now he's not going to be.
No.
Because Monangai showed he's the more powerful, more explosive back given the opportunity. And you could see a very easily like 60-40 split in favor of Monunga going forward, which is not ideal.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not good. So I mean,
Unless you have them.
unless you got Monunga. Yeah. In one league I had Swift, and unfortunately I lost Swift for the week he sat out, and the guy I was playing had Monunga.
No.
I ended up losing that week, and rightfully so. So
Dang it.
yeah. Got to talk about both these guys. Huge performances. Drake London, Brock Bowers, both had 3 touchdowns in the game. This, for me, cements these guys as not just top 10 plays the rest of the way, but like potentially the highest ceiling fantasy players the rest of the season.
Really?
I think when you look at their offenses and you look at the structures of their offense,
Yep.
there's Brock Bowers for the Raiders is by far their best pass catcher. And the next guy is Jacoby Myers, and he's averaging like 3 or 4 targets a game.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you talk about the discrepancy in targets and just usage, I mean, he's going to dominate the rest of the way for the Raiders. And same thing on Drake London's side. You know, Michael Penix is feeding him the ball.
Yep.
He's averaging like 15 targets a game, 3 out of his last 4. You know, he's getting fed targets. We expected that going into the season. We didn't see it till recently. So for me, these guys are absolute lineup locks rest of the way, no matter the matchup. Drake London had an awful matchup this week, and he scored 40 fantasy points. Like, he was getting shadow covered by Christian Gonzalez, and he still scored 40 fantasy points. You know, so if he can be matchup proof, I mean, you got to lock him in.
Exactly.
So. And then lastly, Sam Darnold.
Sammy Darnold.
He has proved all the haters
You
wrong.
Sweet son of a.
Yeah, he is. He's not just the 1-year wonder that everybody thought he was in terms of his abilities. He's a top fantasy quarterback the rest of the way. You know, for me, I think he's a top 10 guy. So in a 10-team league, I think there's no way you can sit him. I think he's an automatic start because Seattle's just fluid in that pass game, and JSN is so special, and everything that Seattle's doing right now is. I want to be on that bandwagon.
Yep.
So if you got him on your roster, he's still somehow available on waiver wire. Use your waiver on him because he will be awesome the rest of the way as Seattle goes, hopefully making a run deep into the playoffs. So,
which I guess I didn't think was going to be talked about much.
No chance
coming into the season.
0 chance.
It's like,
right now they're tied, in the division in terms of the standings. So. They got a lot of division games to finish the year. They'll have to play the Rams and the 49ers and the Cardinals.
Yep.
And so those are always close games. But the difference this year is that Seattle's won those close games.
Right.
In years past, they lose them. You know, so winning those close games really matters come down the back end of the year. So we'll see.
Boom, boys and girls, that's fantasy football, which, as you saw, is as predictable as the weather.
Yes. That is a very good analogy.
But one thing you have to always keep an eye on is everyone that's feeding this league.
Yeah.
So that's why we're going to talk about our good friends at the NCAA.
Yeah, let's talk a little college football. First off, we got to talk about it because it was, probably the upset of the week. Yeah, 10th ranked Miami does not get it done again.
These guys have been kind of on a steady decline.
Yeah, and mostly because of the quarterback play. I got to be honest. I got to throw them under the bus. But yeah, SMU takes them down in overtime in a game that probably eliminates the Canes from the playoff contention. 2 losses, and honestly, just bad losses in terms of games they should have won.
Right.
If you're a committee, you got to take that team out. I don't care, if they finish the rest of the season and they win their championship. I still don't care.
Yeah.
2 losses against teams they shouldn't lose against. That team's not a top 12 team the rest of the way.
Nope.
So that's an unfortunate one for them. And then, what was probably the most talked about matchup going into the week was 20th ranked Texas.
Yep.
Taking on 9th ranked Vanderbilt.
Texas, baby.
Arch Manning was like a question mark going in this one in terms of whether he was going to play regarding the concussion.
Right.
And so he was actually cleared about an hour before the game started.
So when did he get their concussion?
The previous week.
So his
was 1 week.
Wow.
Yeah. So he got hurt.
See, there you go. It's all different for everybody.
Yeah, he got hurt in the Mississippi State game.
Yep.
In like the 4th quarter. And, he was cleared literally that Saturday morning. And man, did he put on a special performance. Throwing for over 300 yards, a couple tutties on the day.
Would you say he was surgical?
I would definitely say he was surgical. He showed that, whether he decides to come out this year or not, that he's definitely an NFL prospect in terms of the big game situations.
Yeah.
We don't know what his, ceiling is in terms of his ability, what he could be. So that's
you
why
wouldn't say this is like a Heisman moment type performance.
no chance.
Yeah.
I do think that there's other guys that had those this past week and stuff that, show that they're, those guys. But yeah, I don't think that's one. And speaking of one, is both top ranked teams.
There we go.
Ohio State and Indiana crushed their opponents, just crushed them as we expected. So we won't address the games too much, but this is setting up for a big clash for these guys when they meet potentially in the Big Ten championship. It's going to be a big one.
Defense is looking scary.
They're a very good defense. They're a good team.
Yeah.
This is the first time
we weren't thinking at the beginning of the season.
No. I think this is the first time when they were seeing the stat online that it was that Indiana back-to-back season started like 9-0.
Yeah.
This is the first time in their program's history. So obviously they're on a historic pace, and all power to him. He got that huge extension. But yeah, Julian Sayon for Ohio State quarterback had an insane game.
Yeah.
So the two names to watch out for in the Heisman race is probably Julian Sayon for Ohio State, and then Ty Simpson for Alabama quarterback.
Wait, for who?
Alabama. They were on a bye this week, so there's not gonna be any coverage on them.
But he still figured out how to put him in.
But I got to throw him in there. Got to throw him in there. You got to throw him in there. He won all the close games this year. He's battle tested. It's just whether or not they believe that Sayon's done enough as a true freshman quarterback in terms of demonstrating that he's a Heisman winner.
Yep.
So, but we'll see. You had 5th ranked Georgia taking on Florida.
Georgia in Florida.
Yeah, it was these, I would say, unquestionably are my two least favorite teams to watch in college. I do not like either one, but we did watch the game. Coming back from behind, Georgia did come back to beat down on Florida.
Georgia was good at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
What happened?
I mean, they're 5th ranked still. I mean, they've won the really close games, but they're not the 5th.
But they're always really close.
Yes. They're I like to call it like the smoke and mirrors.
Sure.
So like people have this like idea behind like these big programs, and like they just instantly rate them higher than they like maybe are on paper.
Gotcha.
Just because like they've done it before.
Yeah.
And so it's the same thing with like we get biased towards like teams in the NFL or NBA, whatever league you're in, just because they've done it, they have done it, but they're not necessarily as good as their record shows they are.
It's kind of like pricing a bottle of bourbon at $150 just because it's in a nice, cool bottle and it says Master's Collection.
Correct.
Doesn't mean that what's inside is actually good.
100%.
Same with this.
Yes. So yeah, we'll see. They got they got a big matchup this next week, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, and then the undefeated Georgia Tech team, 8th ranked in the country, is no longer.
Wow.
They lost to NC State.
Who saw that coming?
Not me, man. That was not a game I even had circled on my docket as that being the game they could lose.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're going to go and roll over these guys. And it ended up being losing 36-48,
Wow.
So not great for their chances. We'll see. I mean, how does the committee rank them in terms of a one-loss team, being that their strength of schedule is pretty weak.
Yep.
But it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds in terms of the end of the season.
Does that loss kill their playoff hopes?
I wouldn't say kill because it was the first.
Right.
There's only 4 teams left in college football that are undefeated. So you got Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and BYU. So those are the only 4 teams that are left in college football that are undefeated. So
and you're saying the rest of their schedule is pretty weak.
And Georgia, Texas, for the most part, their strength of opponents are pretty weak.
Got it.
So when you play teams that aren't as battle tested as the others, like because they value those top matchups.
Gotcha.
So a team that plays 5 or 6 games against top ranked teams but loses 2 of them.
Yep.
I would rather have that team in it because they're battle tested. Like a Vandy, has lost 2 games, but Vandy's 2 game losses were to Alabama, Texas.
Yep.
Those are 2 teams that are powerhouses. So losing to powerhouses is more impressive than losing to North Carolina State.
Right.
So it's it's how you look at it. But yeah, and then you had 18th ranked Oklahoma get their biggest win of the season. This was really important. They take down 14th ranked Tennessee. This for me eliminates Tennessee. Tennessee's done. Tennessee is out of the ranking contention for me. This really gives Oklahoma a chance to sneak back in there.
Talk to me about these field goals, though.
Yeah, this kicker for Oklahoma was having himself a day.
No doubt.
It was awesome. I had to highlight it. He had 4 field goals on the day. including 3 of over 50 yards for a college kicker.
Come on.
That does not happen almost ever, let alone in one game. It was special. I mean, the atmosphere every time he was making it, I mean, the whole stadium was like treating this guy like an MVP.
Let's go.
It was sweet, man. I mean, it was a perfect day to be a kicker, man.
Yep.
It was awesome to see. But yeah, that was a really cool game. And
chances are he had a good night that night.
Yeah, there's a good chance. There's a good chance.
Post game was good for him.
Yeah, I'm guarantee he was the life of the party. And then lastly, it was a really late game. Not a lot of people stayed up, but 24th ranked Utah absolutely dismantled 17th ranked Cincinnati.
Ooh.
Just 45-14. I mean, it wasn't even a close game at all.
Yeah.
It was just a beatdown. This is a game that could propel Utah with their rest of season schedule, with who they're going to have to play, into that contention of being in that top 12, between 10 and 12 in terms of the rankings. Because beating the 17 Cincinnati is a very impressive win. It'll be interesting to see because, obviously with the games as they progress, you have those matchups that are really important that we can't predict the outcomes of now. Yep. But if they can, control their own destiny, that could be a game right there that propels them into that discussion. So you could be seeing the Utes sneak up on people.
Watch out.
Yeah, watch out for the Utes.
Watch out for them Utes.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. It's time to wrap up a league this fine day.
Yes, it is. This will be...
we called it.
We did. We did call it. It wasn't how we called it.
No.
It wasn't how we expected it.
I thought it was going to be earlier.
We didn't think we'd be talking about it today.
No.
But we are. So we are talking about the MLB. So we saw... This was one of the best World Series I've seen in probably the last 2 decades.
Which is really good for the sport because things were slowing down for them.
Yes, it was.
A little bit.
Yes, they were. So it was really good. The attendance and viewership online was way up from years past.
Yep.
Obviously, there's a lot of international influence with a lot of these guys that are from Japan and everything.
Yep.
But yeah, let's just start off Friday night, Game 6 in Toronto. We saw a thriller. It was an extremely close game that turned out to be a pitcher's duel.
Yep.
It was one of those... the craziest ninth innings I think I've ever seen. So if you're watching the game, basically, given the severity of the situation, you had a double hit by Addison Berger.
Yep.
And basically what happened was Barger, that lodged underneath the fence and the dirt in left field. So the ball got stuck. And if you know anything about baseball, that's considered an automatic double. You're trained as an outfielder, put your hands up, the ball's out of play or not in play and whatever. And so it's really controversial because there was a runner on first, and because of the automatic double, it, forced the runners to, instead of scoring, the runner has to stop at third, and then he's got second base, right? So at this point, there's no outs in the inning. Okay?
Right.
There's 0 outs. So they decide, let's make a pitching change. So they brought in Tyler Glass now, and he took him 3 pitches. 3 pitches. First pitch, the guy hits one, and it's like a soft little blooper to the first baseman. In the air, a little short fly ball, no run score, right? All right, so the pitch, you got 1 out now. And then you got pitch 2, high fastball, misses the zone. And then pitch 3, the hitter, the batter hits it into left field. It's a short, basically the bat broke. And,
right on.
And so it was dying. It was like a duck.
Yep.
And Hernandez comes in, makes a sweet snag. And I don't know what the runner at second is doing, but the runner at second is halfway off. So he fields it, throws a 1-hopper, and the second baseman fields it between his legs to double the guy off at second base to win 3-1. And so obviously the win's the win, doesn't matter the score or whatever. But this was a really big thing because everybody in terms of the world, the line was the Dodgers 1.5.
Sure.
And so winning 3-1 versus 3-2 made a lot of people either some money or lost a lot of money. So it was definitely a very controversial ending to that one, which forced a Game 7 on Saturday night.
There you go.
So, and then Saturday night, let's get into it.
Saturday.
Yeah, so you had Ohtani versus Max Scherzer on the bump. Bo Bichette hit a 3-run homer early in the game, giving them a big lead that way. Made the Yankees, the Dodgers yank Ohtani, resulting in honestly just a bullpen duel the rest of the way. A lot of guys playing that you didn't see coming, and Dodgers got a couple runs throughout the game, resulting in it being like a 4-3 going into the 9th inning.
Oh.
Let's just start from there. And Miguel Rojas hits a home run with 1 out in the 9th inning to tie it up. You know, that's a big deal. Obviously, you know, we're talking about a Blue Jays team that was up 4-2 the longest time. You know, this got this game in hand and ties it up, forcing extra innings, and it turned out to be one of the greatest games I've ever seen. Will Smith hits a solo home run in the 11th. You had bases juiced in the bottom of the 11th. The Dodgers got out of it.
Juicy bases.
And they get the 5-4 win.
There you have it.
It was really cool. I mean, the Dodgers win back-to-back World Series like we predicted.
We called it.
Yeah, it was. Was it the best World Series in recent history? I don't know. I think so.
I think, yeah, it was definitely one worth watching.
100%. Yeah. And definitely if you have an opportunity, if you taped or have an ability to watch that Game 7, if you missed it, I mean, feel free to go back and watch it. It was definitely a thriller.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's worth the time watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But the NBA is heating up.
Yes, it is. It's we're getting into full swing now. We kind of have an idea of like what the teams are to watch and, you know, what's going on. And let's just start out on Friday night, which we talked about this past week was the first set of the groups play games for the NBA Cup.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. So, I mean, we had some very close competitive games with a lot more on the line. You know, obviously playing for that seeding. You had the Celtics narrowly hold off a 113-112 win over the 76ers.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very important win. Also, you had the Clippers play the Pelicans, where Kawhi Leonard hit a game winner. On the shot, the league came back out and said that he actually took 5 steps on the last shot of the game, which, if you know anything about the traveling rule, would normally be called the travel.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So it's not the best way to end a really great game, especially with that on the line, you know, to have it be that it ended on a call that was missed.
Right.
So not ideal there, but it is what it is. I mean, life goes on. You can't really go back and restart the game, but yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, on the home front news anyway, you had the Minnesota Timberwolves.
The Wolves, baby.
Handily take down the Charlotte Hornets on the road. In a game they should win, even without Ant, but impressive nonetheless. The bench guys stepped up. Nas played well. Jane Daniels had a good game. So did Julius Randle.
Are we a bit deeper than people thought?
Yeah. I mean, I think people are shocked by the fact that the Timberwolves are stringing a couple wins together without Ant. I unquestionably believe this is the best stretch of Ant to be injured for.
Yeah.
Because like our opponents that we're playing are weak. Obviously, we lost a really tough one to the Lakers. But if you eliminate that game, we played really good basketball without him. And, you know, stringing together those wins are really important when it comes to the end of the season. Because last year, I believe seeds 1 through 6 was a difference. Other than if you eliminate the Thunder, was like between seeds 2 and 6, I think the difference was like 2 games.
Oh, sure.
You know, so like every single game is going to matter when it comes to the postseason. So, and then the Indiana Pacers, they got their first win on the season in a very unexpected game against the Golden State Warriors. They got the job done. Pascal Siakam looked good again.
Dang, Skippy.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, it's going to be a long season for them. They're very shorthanded. They're very banged up. Obviously, they got no Halliburton the rest of the way, but
he's just quietly balling out.
Yeah, but Siakam's been really good.
Yeah.
He's been really, really good. All right. And then we talked about it. We had the Mexico City game.
That's right.
So yeah, it was definitely a different viewing. Like the whole
like the
screen,
feel of it.
The feel of it. Like it definitely felt like almost like a G League game for me. Like in terms of watching it, just because it didn't feel like an NBA arena.
Yeah.
You know, it just felt odd. But the Pistons did beat the shorthanded Mavericks 122-110.
Were they fermenting tequila and stuff in the corner?
Yeah, probably. Jalen Duren, very young player for them. Their center had a big night with 33 points, 10 rebounds. Yeah, he was really good. I mean, they were shorthanded a bunch of centers. Dallas was, so it made it really easy for him to be successful, but took advantage of the matchup.
Might as well.
If
you're going to be in there, you might as well look good.
Yeah, might as well. And then on Sunday, you had the Thunder improve to 7-0.
Let's go.
7-0, staying undefeated to start the season, beating a Pelicans team handily by 30 points, which brought their record to 0-6.
Yeah.
So winning a game they should, but hey, 30-point victory without all your studs is impressive nonetheless.
Sure.
You know, they're missing. They didn't either one of Chet Holmgren or J-Dub. Neither one played in that game. So yeah, good for them. And then also on Monday night, you had the Timberwolves take on the Brooklyn Nets. And in another game, the bench was just really impressive, you know, getting a big win. honestly, it's really cool to see the Timberwolves, because in years past, like what would happen in these games where you're shorthanded, they would just lose them all. You know what I mean? And it's really cool to see them finally getting it done. And they're a contender. I do really think so. I mean, they're deep.
Oh, for sure.
I think it's really important that these guys that are getting these bench minutes to feel confident.
Yeah.
Because sparingly, like throughout the season when we need them, they've got some action. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Dillingham started to figure it out a little bit. Terrence Shannon's played pretty well.
That's good for both sides too. Like for the team itself, the coaching staff and stuff like that. One, you get to see who the player is, but like you just said, is like take this opportunity to show them what you're made of. Yeah. And so like this is the time for them to be prepared, ready to go. Make sure your mindset's right. Is like show them what you can be. Show them that you could actually be somebody that's in the mix and playing. This goes out to all of you high school players and maybe even some of you lower end college players.
Sure.
If you work hard and you put in the mindset and then you're given a chance and you screw it up, it's on you. For one, not preparing.
Yep.
For two, not preparing. And for three, not preparing.
Yeah.
It's all about preparation. That's all it is. So that when you get the shot to show what you're made of, you just take it. There it is.
But my big things is it's mental focus, attitude, and effort. If you don't bring those three things to the elements of being ready to go, if you're not, you might as well just not go out there and just be like, I'm not ready. I can't handle it. You know what I mean?
Are you doing in this league? You're not going to do that.
Yeah, right. And so it's interesting, but either way, nonetheless, it's impressive. The Timberwolves, played pretty solid so far this year without Ant, and we'll see how that progresses.
Good old Wolves. Yow. That's right. Speaking of the old Minnesota teams,
yes,
we might as well bring up some NHL. Things are getting chilly. This weekend's going to be freezing.
Yes.
So let's talk about what happened this last weekend.
Yeah. We'll just start off on Thursday night. The Wild hosted the Pittsburgh Penguins, as we talked about. It was a really close game, first two periods, 1-1. It was kind of just up and down, a lot of things going on. But going into that third period, the Penguins just showed that they are a lot better team, scoring 3 goals to win that one, 4-1. We'll see. The Penguins are a better roster than the Wild, and they just have been for a long time. And that was just a veteran team getting the win. And so there's not much you can do in that situation other than just move on to the next one. But yeah, this is the matchup. I think these are the two best teams in the NHL, in my opinion. I think the Las Vegas Golden Knights on Friday night hosted the Colorado Avalanche in a game where Martin Nessus for the Avs had 3 points and a 4-2 win.
Let's go.
He's been special to start this year for them.
doubt.
Kind of like a under the radar type season, and he's been really good, which has been fun to watch. That guys that maybe aren't on your telecast, aren't on your teleprompters, aren't on your TV, your social media feeds, having good seasons, because it's awesome. Because that's sports. That's why we watch. So yeah, and then you had the Wild on Friday night. They got one back. They finally snapped their 5-game losing streak.
Boys,
and when they
it up.
Yeah, when they hosted the Canucks, winning 5-2, where the offense really showed out. It was really cool to see. Put some goals in the net.
Previous, they were losing their leads kind of late in the games.
Yep.
So it's like, could it be the fact that they are a younger team, a newer team? There's the discipline may not be there, or is it fatigue? Do they not know? Like we saw something different in this game, obviously.
Right.
But those previous 5 games where we were losing, it was towards the end, and it's like, it feels like, are they just slowing down because they don't understand the pace of the game because they are younger, or...
Yeah, it's tough. Hockey's really an ebb and flow game, and
so intense.
And it's like, honestly, it can be the smallest little thing that is the determining factor. Because like, it's not like an NFL one that's where there's touchdowns up and down the field, left and right, and it's 11 guys. It's 5-on-5. You know what I mean?
And they're moving.
They're moving. The puck's moving like crazy. One little bounce here, bounce there. I mean, it's tough. I mean, obviously fatigue can be a factor if you play a lot of games in a row. Experience does matter. The regular season's tough because you play a lot of games, and
how many are there? 100 and...
No, you're thinking baseball.
Oh, okay.
Baseball's 162. I believe the NHL is 80.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's 82. But either way, it's a tough league. It's a tough sport, and we'll see what happens as the season progresses. But the Wild do have to close out games if they want a chance to even be a contending playoff team, let alone an actual playoff contender.
Yeah.
You know, they want to, I mean,
You want to get in is one thing.
Yes.
But then if you get there, what are you going to do with that?
Correct. We'll see. I mean, obviously it's a long season, so we're just getting going. You know, we've only seen probably about, 10 to 15 games on each team, something like that. So we'll see what happens as it progresses, but it's been good. Also on Saturday, you saw the Florida Panthers host the Dallas Stars in a very close game with a 4-3 victory in the shootout for the Panthers.
Yep.
So got your money's worth on that one. It was a really good game. Obviously, two very good teams. Panthers, two-time defending champs.
Yep.
Dallas Stars, a very, very promising team for this season in terms of roster. It was a really good game. There's no better way to watch a shootout to end a hockey night, though. I just love it. There's nothing better. You versus the goalie and the goalie versus you. It's just so awesome. So it was cool to see that one. And then on Sunday, I got to talk about them because they have honestly shocked me this year. And the Anaheim Ducks, they're taking on the Detroit Red Wings, and the Ducks get the win again.
Let's go.
And it was just really awesome to see. They are playing really good hockey right now, and it's just awesome, man.
Freaking flying V.
Yeah, the Ducks are great. They've been playing really good. The Tendies played awesome, and if they continue it up, it'd be great. But we'll see. It's a long season, and they don't necessarily have the stacked rosters of all these other teams do. So we'll see how that pans out longevity-wise. But yeah, and then lastly for the hockey, got to talk about it. It's Tuesday. You'll be seeing the Wild host the Predators tonight in a very physical matchup. These two teams always play very physical. It's a rivalry. They played for a long time against each other. Between the Wild, the Blues, and the Predators, these guys always battle it out. It's always physical. So that'd be a good one to watch, something to throw on your TV tonight. Since there's,
what's your prediction?
You know what? I like the Wild win 3-2.
Right on.
That's my prediction tonight.
On.
I like the Wild win 3-2. I think they are a little bit better team, but obviously we'll see what happens.
Hot dang.
Yeah.
There you have it. After all that, which game or performance was your favorite moment of the week? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Hit us up on all the other social media platforms. And we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.